My girlfriend said, "I don't date broke boys, level up or I'm gone." After I lost my job, I said, "Bye." Then she didn't know about my inheritance. She found out when she saw my new penthouse on Instagram. Her "I miss US" text was screenshots gold. I-27 male got laid off from my marketing job 3 weeks ago. Company restructuring, whole department got axed. Not going to lie, it sucked. But what sucked more was my girlfriend's reaction. Brianna, 25, and I had been together for 2 years. Thought we were solid. We talked about moving in together, maybe getting engaged next year. I was saving up for a nice ring and everything. The day I got laid off, I called her immediately. Needed support, you know. Her response, "Oh, so what are you going to do about rent?" Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "That sucks, babe." Just straight to the money talk. I explained I had savings, unemployment would kick in, and I'd already started applying for new positions. She went quiet, then said we should talk in person. Met her at her place that evening. She'd done her full face of makeup, wearing the designer dress I'd bought her for her birthday. Sat me down like she was about to fire me too. "Look, I'm going to be real with you. I don't date broke boys. This isn't working for me." I actually laughed. Thought she was joking. She wasn't. I have standards. I need a man who can provide. Who's ambitious. You losing your job shows me you're not that guy. Level up or I'm gone. She actually said the nail polish emoji out loud, like nail polish emoji. I asked if she was serious. 2 years together and she's dumping me over a layoff that happened 8 hours ago. It's not just the job, it's what it represents. You're content with being average. I need someone who matches my energy. Her energy. Girl worked part-time at her dad's real estate office answering phones, but okay. "So that's it?" I asked. "Unless you can guarantee you'll have a better job within a week." "Yeah, I'm not trying to date someone unemployed. That's embarrassing." Here's the thing. 3 months ago, my grandmother passed. Sweetest woman ever. Basically raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 10. She left me her house and some money, nothing crazy, about $275K after taxes and selling the house. I hadn't told Brianna because we were still settling the estate. And honestly, I wanted to be smart about it. Planned to use it for a down payment on a place, invest the rest. But sitting there listening to her talk about how I'm not ambitious enough while she's never worked a full week in her life. "Nah, bye then," I said. She blinked. "Excuse me? You said level up or you're gone." "So, bye. You're not going to fight for us? Fight for someone who dumps me the day I lose my job?" "Nah, I'm good." I left. She texted me an hour later, "So you're really just giving up?" Wow, I was right about you. Blocked her number. Spent the next week grieving both my job and the relationship. But you know what? The relief hit different. No more expensive dinner she'd insist on but never offer to pay for. No more surprise designer items she'd buy with my credit card. No more listening to her complain about how her friends' boyfriends took them to better vacation spots. 2 weeks later, the inheritance finalized. I did something maybe irresponsible but definitely therapeutic. Used part of it to put a deposit on a sick penthouse downtown. Not crazy expensive, but nice. Floor-to-ceiling windows, doormen the works. Figured I'd worked hard for years, saved responsibly, and Grandma would want me to enjoy something nice while I job searched. Posted one photo on Instagram, just the view from my living room at sunset. Caption, "New chapter." My phone exploded within minutes. First was her best friend, Tisha. "Wait, is this your place?" Then her cousin Bree's crying, "Ren, just so you know." Then came the text from an unknown number. She'd realized I blocked her. "Hey, I miss us. Can we talk?" Screenshot. Gold. That was yesterday. Today's been interesting, but I'll save that for the update. Update 1, y'all. The entitlement escalation has been wild. So after the "I miss us" text, I didn't respond, just kept living life. Got 2 job interviews lined up. Been hitting the gym, actually cooking instead of eating out constantly. Peace looked good on me. But Brianna girl lost her mind, started with the love-bombing texts from various numbers. I made a mistake, baby. You know, I was just stressed about my future. We can work through this. I saw you're doing well. I'm so proud of you. Proud of what? She didn't even know how I got the penthouse. That's when I realized she thought I'd somehow gotten a mega-paying job in 2 weeks. Her texts got more desperate. Why are you ignoring me? This is really immature. I know you still love me. Stop being petty. My therapist says you're avoiding conflict resolution. Your therapist girl started therapy the week after we broke up. Sure. Then came Thursday. I'm at a coffee shop, laptop out, applying for jobs in walks. Brianna with her whole squad, Keisha, her cousin Jade, and some girl I don't recognize. They accidentally sat at the table right next to mine. Loud conversation clearly meant for me. Girl, you deserve so much better. Anyway, he was lucky to have you. Honestly, ghosting is such small energy. I put my headphones on. They got louder. Finally, Brianna walks over. Full performance mode. Dew eyes soft, reaching for my arm. Can we please just talk like adults? We did talk. You said you don't date broke boys. I'm broke, remember? Unemployed, embarrassing. I didn't mean it like that. You literally said those exact words. People say things when they're emotional. You can't just throw away 2 years over one conversation. You threw it away. I just accepted your decision. She tried to sit down. I closed my laptop. I have somewhere to be. Where? Another job interview. She said it sarcastically, like she didn't believe I was actually looking. Something like that. Left her standing there. Her friends immediately surrounded her as I walked out. Heard one of them say, "He's not worth it anyway, babe." That night, the real psycho came out. Created a whole Instagram story series. When you realize what you lost. A real woman admits her mistakes, praying for reconciliation and growth. Each with a selfie of her crying with perfect makeup that somehow didn't run. But here's where it gets good. Saturday morning, she shows up at my building. Don't know how she found it, but she's there in the lobby arguing with the doorman. I'm his girlfriend, just call him. Doorman Rico is a real one, calls me. Mr. T, there's a young lady here claiming to be your girlfriend. Should I let her up? Nope, not my girlfriend, haven't dated anyone in weeks. Understood, sir. I watched from my window as security escorted her out. She made a scene. Full theatrics, crying, yelling about love, claiming I was holding her hostage emotionally. Even tried to duck past security to get to the elevators. 20 minutes later, her dad calls me. Her actual father. Son, what's going on between you and Bree? She's devastated. This man who'd maybe said 10 words to me in 2 years suddenly cares about my relationship. Mr. Peterson, Brianna dumped me the day I lost my job. Said she doesn't date broke boys. I accepted her decision and moved on. She said you got some high-paying job and now you're being vindictive. I'm unemployed, sir. Just like she said was too embarrassing for her. Then how'd you afford that penthouse? Respectfully, that's none of your business. Have a good day. He tried calling back 3 times, didn't answer. Then Sunday happened. Oh, Sunday. I get a text from my ex-coworker, Derek. Yo, did you see what your ex posted on LinkedIn? LinkedIn. This girl made a whole post about learning to forgive those who hurt us in their journey to success. And tagged my professional profile. The post went on about how she's proud of her ex-boyfriend for overcoming job loss and finding success, and how real love means supporting each other through transformations. On LinkedIn, where I'm trying to get a job, the comments were brutal. This seems really inappropriate for LinkedIn. Ma'am, this is a professional platform. Yikes on bikes. She deleted it within hours, but screenshots live forever. Monday morning, I get a call from an unknown number. Almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. It was her mother. We need to talk about you and Brianna. All due respect, Mrs. Peterson, but no, we don't. She made a mistake. She's young. You're really going to throw away your future over pride? She threw it away over money. I just respected her choice. You know she didn't mean it. And now that you're successful, I'm unemployed. Don't lie to me. We know about your new job. Your penthouse. I don't have a new job. The penthouse is from my inheritance from my grandmother, the one who just died, which Brianna would know if she bothered to ask how I was doing instead of calling me broke. Silence. Inheritance? Yes. Not that it matters. She made it clear money was more important than our relationship. She got what she wanted, a chance to find someone who matches her energy. Leave me out of it. Hung up. But the best part. An hour later, Brianna posts on her Instagram story. When people show you their true colors, believe them. The snake emoji, like I'm the snake. For checks notes respecting her decision to dump me. Her flying monkeys started hitting up my DMs. You're foul for not telling her about the money. She deserved to know. Playing games with someone's heart is sick. Didn't respond to any of them, but I did post my own story. Just a screenshot of her "I don't date broke boys" text with the caption, "This you." My DMs exploded with laughing emojis from mutual friends who'd been staying quiet. Current situation. She's now telling people I financially manipulated her by hiding my wealth. Like what wealth? I got an inheritance after she dumped me. And even if I'd had it before, was I supposed to beg her to stay with my grandma's money? The same grandma whose funeral she couldn't attend because she had a nail appointment. The entitlement is astronomical. She really thought she could dump me for being broke, then come back when she thought I had money and I'd just take her back. Stay tuned. Something tells me this isn't over. Girl's lost her mind, and I haven't even started posting about the new job interviews going well. Update 2. Okay, so remember how I said this wasn't over? Understatement of the century. Let me start with the good news. Got a job offer. Better position than my last one. 20% pay increase, and they actually recruited me based on my portfolio. Started this Monday. Celebrated with takeout from my favorite Thai place and a movie night. Living my best single life. Now for the Brianna Chronicles, part whatever this is. After my Instagram story response, she went nuclear. Created a whole TikTok about how I was financially abused by my narcissist ex. I kid you not. Financial abuse because I didn't tell her about money I didn't have when we were together. The video blew up in the worst way possible. Comments were dragging her. So you dumped him for being broke, but he's the abuser? The math ain't mathing, sis. Imagine telling on yourself like this. She deleted it after 6 hours, but the internet is forever. Someone reposted it with commentary, and that went viral. 2.3 million views of her explaining how me hiding assets was manipulation. Girl, what assets? I was eating ramen trying to save for your engagement ring. But here's where she really lost the plot. Wednesday, I get a call from my bank. Someone tried to add themselves as an authorized user on my credit card. Take a wild guess who. Apparently, she still had my SSN from when we talked about getting an apartment together. She really tried to add herself to my accounts. Bank flagged it as fraud. Obviously, I had to freeze everything, file a police report, the works. While I'm at the police station, my phone's blowing up. Derek, my boy from my old job, sends me screenshots from Facebook. This lunatic made a GoFundMe. Help me rebuild after financial betrayal. Goal $50,000. The description was a masterpiece of delusion. Claimed I'd promised her a future, then strategically hid assets to manipulate and discard her. Said she needed therapy, time to heal, and resources to rebuild her life. She raised $73,000, probably from her mom. But wait, it gets better. Friday afternoon, I'm at my new job in a meeting with my team, reception calls. There's a delivery for me that requires signature. I'm thinking it's my new work laptop. Nope. Process server. I'm being sued. This girl really got a lawyer. She's suing me for 1, emotional distress, 2, promissory estoppel. Had to Google that one. 3, unjust enrichment and defamation. Her claim that I promised to marry her. She made life decisions based on that promise, and my hiding of my inheritance constitutes fraud. She wants $100,000 in damages. I laughed. Actually laughed. The process server looked uncomfortable and left quickly. Called my cousin, who's a lawyer. He read through it, called it the legal equivalent of a temper tantrum, and agreed to represent me for family rates. His words, This is going to be fun to destroy in court. That weekend, she escalated to full psycho. Started showing up places she knew I'd be. My gym at 6 a.m. She'd never been awake before 10 when we dated. The farmer's market I go to on Saturdays. Even my barbershop, each time with a different performance. At the gym, crying on the treadmill next to mine about lost love. At the farmer's market, loudly telling vendors how I abandoned her. At the barber, sitting in her car outside playing our song on repeat with windows down. The barbershop was the last straw. My barber, Big Mike, went out and told her to move along before he called the OOTS. She left, but not before screaming that I was probably in there talking trash about her. Mike's response when he came back in: "You need to get a restraining order before this girl boils a rabbit on your stove, my guy." He wasn't wrong. Monday, filed for a restraining order. Had screenshots, bank fraud attempt, the lawsuit, witness statements from Rico the doorman, Big Mike, and 3 people from my gym who complained about her behavior. Judge granted a temporary order immediately. She'd be served within 24 hours. Tuesday night, she did her grand finale. Posted a 10-part Instagram story. Screenshots of our old texts, selectively edited. Photos of us from when we were happy. A pregnancy test. Negative, but implying I'd abandoned her while pregnant. Medical bills from her stress-induced hospitalization. The restraining order with "This is what narcissists do" written over it. Then she went live. Live crying, hyperventilating, claiming I was using the system to silence her truth. Said she was starting a support group for women who'd been financially manipulated by men. Her own friends started calling her out in the comments. "Bree, this is too much. Girl, log off. This ain't it." Even Keisha, her ride or die, commented, "Call me, we need to talk." The live ended when someone, probably her dad, physically took her phone. Could hear him in the background. "Brianna, enough. You're embarrassing yourself in this family." Next day, her lawyer withdrew from her case. Apparently, even he realized she was unhinged. My lawyer filed a countersuit for defamation. Those TikToks and posts. Attempted identity theft, the bank thing. Harassment and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We're asking for $200,000. Not because I need it, but because she needs to learn that actions have consequences. Same again. This time different energy. "I'm sorry. We're getting her help. Real help. Can you please drop the countersuit? We'll make sure she drops hers. Your daughter tried to steal my identity, stalked me, and publicly defamed me to millions of people. She needs consequences, not enabling. What will it take? A public apology admitting she lied, deletion of all posts about me, and a written agreement to never contact me again, plus she covers my legal fees, I'll talk to her." That was yesterday. Today, I woke up to notifications that all her social media accounts have been deactivated. Mutual friends are telling me her parents checked her into some kind of facility for exhaustion. Part of me feels bad. Mental health is serious. But then I remember her laughing while calling me a broke boy and trying to steal my credit card info. And the sympathy fades. Got my first paycheck from the new job today. Took myself to a nice dinner alone. Peaceful. No one asking why I didn't get the more expensive steak or hinting about designer bags. Grandma always told me, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Should have listened sooner, but hey, better late than never. We'll update after court. If she doesn't take the deal, this is going to get interesting. Final update. All right, this is going to be my last update because this chapter of my life is officially closed. Remember that deal I offered through her dad? She didn't take it. Of course she didn't. Instead, she checked herself out of the facility after 72 hours and hired a new lawyer. Some ambulance chaser who probably saw dollar signs when she mentioned inheritance. 2 weeks before court, she pulled her final power move. Ready for this? She started a podcast called Gold Digger, I Hardly Know Her, about surviving financial abuse in modern dating. The first episode? All about me. Full government name and everything. Episode title: How My Ex Hid $500K to test if I was a gold digger. First of all, $500K. The inheritance was $275K, and I used a chunk for the penthouse deposit. But accuracy wasn't her strong suit. She went on and on about how I orchestrated losing my job to test her love, and had been planning this manipulation for months. According to her, my grandmother didn't even die. I just made that up for sympathy. The disrespect to my dead grandmother. My lawyer was salivating. We added another defamation claim and filed an emergency injunction to get the podcast taken down. Judge granted it in 24 hours, but she'd already recorded 3 more episodes with guests, other women sharing their financial abuse stories. One girl's story. Her ex asked her to pay for her own birthday dinner. That was it. That was the abuse. Court day arrives. I'm in my new job's best business casual. She shows up in a full designer suit I know she can't afford, complete with a film crew. A film crew. Apparently she was documenting her journey for other survivors. Judge shut that down immediately. No cameras in court. Her lawyer's opening argument was something. Claimed I had a pattern of financial manipulation and used my grandmother's death as a cover story for my secret wealth. Said I deliberately got myself fired to test if Brianna was a real partner. My lawyer stood up, submitted into evidence my termination letter showing I was part of a 40-person layoff. Death certificate for my grandmother. Bank records showing the inheritance came after the breakup. Her text saying, "I don't date broke boys." Screenshots of her attempting credit card fraud. The restraining order documentation. Transcripts from her podcast claiming my dead grandmother was fake. 63 screenshots of harassment across all platforms. But the crown jewel, us do the sue. Remember the pregnancy test from her Instagram story? My lawyer had subpoenaed her medical records. Not only was she never pregnant, she bought the pregnancy test photo from a stock image site. Had the receipt and everything. Her lawyer tried to object, but the judge allowed it since she'd made it public on social media. The judge looked at Brianna and said, "Young lady, did you seriously claim this man's deceased grandmother was fictional?" She started crying. "I was hurt. He lied to me." "About what? What lie did he tell?" He didn't tell me about the money. Money he didn't have when you ended the relationship. He should have told me it was coming. Why? You'd already ended the relationship. Were you entitled to information about his finances after you broke up with him for being, in your words, broke? She just cried harder. Her lawyer tried to salvage it, bringing up emotional distress and lost future earnings. "From what?" the judge asked. "The podcast that got shut down?" Judge wasn't having it. Dismissed her case with prejudice, meaning she can't refile. Then addressed my counter. "Miss Peterson, you've wasted this court's time with frivolous claims. You've defamed this man across multiple platforms, attempted identity theft, and shown a pattern of harassment that's frankly disturbing. Judgment in my favor. $50,000 in damages, $15,000 in legal fees, and a permanent restraining order. She has to stay 500 feet away from me, my home and my workplace. Any violation means immediate jail time." Her dad tried to approach me outside court. My lawyer stepped between us. "The check can be sent to my office. Any contact outside of settling this judgment constitutes violation of the restraining order." Her dad just nodded and walked away, looking defeated. But here's the real karma. That podcast episode she posted, even though it got taken down, someone had already downloaded it. They sent it to her employer. Remember, she worked at her dad's real estate office. Her dad's business partners heard her claiming she was being financially abused while working part-time at Daddy's company and driving a car he paid for. They voted her out. Her own dad had to fire her to save the business partnerships. Last I heard through the grapevine, she moved back in with her parents. Her apartment was Daddy-funded too. She's selling her designer bags on Depop to pay the judgment. Her Instagram is still deactivated. Tisha and most of her friend group cut her off after the fake pregnancy thing. She's working at a cell phone store in the mall. Meanwhile, I'm thriving. Love my new job. Paid off the rest of the penthouse with savings and the judgment money. Started dating a girl from my building. She's a surgeon who actually insisted on paying for our first date. Invested the remainder of Grandma's inheritance in index funds. Got a promotion already because I landed a huge client. Plot twist. The client. a women's financial literacy nonprofit that saw the viral TikTok about her calling me broke. They wanted to work with someone who understood the importance of financial independence regardless of relationship status. The contract's worth $3 million to my company over 2 years. So technically, Brianna calling me broke led to me making more money than I ever have. Funny how life works. A few weeks ago, I got one last flying monkey in my DMs. Some girl saying, "Brianna's really struggling and learned her lesson and maybe you could show grace and drop the judgment." I responded with a screenshot of the invoice for my grandmother's funeral. The one Brianna couldn't attend because of her nail appointment. Blocked. To anyone dealing with someone who only loves you for your wallet. Run. When someone shows you money matters more than your well-being, your job loss matters more than your mental health, your bank account matters more than your heart, believe them. And to Brianna, if you're reading this from your stock image pregnancy test having, fake, podcast starting, grandmother denying ass, I'm glad you showed me who you were. You saved me from wasting a ring on someone who would have bounced the second life got hard. My grandma used to say, money doesn't change people, it reveals them. She was right. And what it revealed about Brianna, that she was never worth the ramen dinners I ate to save for her birthday gifts. I'm done with this chapter. Time to live my best life in my penthouse with my promotion, dating someone who pays their own way and doesn't call me dusty, broke, or whatever new TikTok term is trending. Peace out. Renit, the broke boy, is signing off from his penthouse. P.S. She tried making a YouTube channel last week about dating after financial trauma. It has 12 subscribers. 11 of them are her family members. The 12th is my lawyer keeping tabs for restraining order violations.